A lot of tourists visiting Hikkaduwa and Sri Lanka start to daydream about buying a land and settling down in this beautiful island. But is it possible for foreigners to buy land here? To answer that question, I'm going to Remax and talk to an expert in this field. If you find this video useful, please give me a thumbs up and comment below.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Ponzi and I'm working with Remax Real Estate here in Galle in the southern province of Sri Lanka. I'm here with my friend Merete from Hikkaduwa that is here with me to try to explain you how is the process on buying real estate properties in Sri Lanka for foreigners. Sri Lanka has two different regulations. One is about apartments in apartment buildings. So people can buy directly an apartment and have the property transferred on their name. So it's simple, as happened in Norway, as happened in Europe and mostly part of the world. So if you buy an apartment, you just find your property, you negotiate the price, and when you close the price, the seller will sell the property to you and the property will be transferred on your name. So when you buy a property that is not an apartment, so it's a piece of land with or without a house or villa on it, the process is a little different. It's a little different in the meaning of what? You need to establish a company that is called Private Limited here in Sri Lanka. So the Sri Lankan partners in this company owns 51% of the company and the foreigners owns 49% of the company. Of course, this one sounds a little strange because nobody wants to do a company, set up a company where is the minority of the shares are on his name. But that's how it works, and to avoid any bad surprises, what you do at the same time of establish the private company, you establish also a holding company. The holding company would be established totally 100% on the name of the foreigners, and this holding company is the one that will control the private limited, the 5149 company, for a period of 99 years. So what happened? The holding company signs a 99-year lease to the private limited company. So for these 99 years, nothing can happen to the properties. After these 99 years, you need to sign another 99-year lease. So with this method, you always own the property for 99 and plus years. In case you need to sell this property after 10, 20 years, what do? You sell the company directly to a new buyer. If the new buyer is a Sri Lankan, will go directly on his name. If the new buyer is a foreigner, will start the same process. The foreigners that buys have two chances, either to acquire a company and acquire the lease in the remaining years of the lease, or establish a new company and start the process again. So this is, as today, is the way on buying and owning property in Sri Lanka for foreigners. The process to buying a property and set up a company usually takes a period of minimum of 1 month to a maximum of 2 months. Depends on some legal aspects. But in these days, our office and our team of expertise, so professional lawyers, surveyors, accountants, will help you in this process. So we're talking of a minimum of a month to a maximum of 2 months. So this is, as today, is the way on buying and owning property in Sri Lanka for foreigners. It's not nothing strange, especially in this side of the world. The same method is used in many other countries here in South Asia, from Thailand to Indonesia to Malaysia. So this is how it works. Things are changing already. Few with the new government, with the new budget, they are improving. They try to attract new investors to Sri Lanka, so they're trying to simplify all this process. So there has been many changes. They're generating like more attraction to investor here in Sri Lanka. Also on the tax aspect, they've been lowering down the taxes on purchasing and selling. Also, if you own a property, they will give permit visa to people that owns company under the form of a business visa.
And do you think buying land in Sri Lanka is a good investment? Do you think the prices will rise on?
Definitely, to buy a property in Sri Lanka is a good investment. Prices have been going up for the last, let's say, after the tsunami. So for the last 10 years, there has been a constant increase of prices on real estate. Of course, we've been through some bad situation in the last 2 years with the bombing, and then after that there was a political crisis, and now we have this pandemic situation. But even if we went through this bad situation, prices are always stable or increasing. So it's a good time to invest in Sri Lanka for sure. And also, as I said earlier, this place is a paradise. So you can come here, buy your property, have an amazing lifestyle, and when it's time to move on, you can resell your property and make a profit out of it. So this is mainly what happened in Sri Lanka. Of course, if you're interested, feel free to contact me or contact Merete, and I will give you more specific advices, and also I will introduce you on real estate market in Sri Lanka, so you will become familiar what's for sale, how much are prices, and how is all the process to own a property or to rent a property. So come to Sri Lanka because it's a very nice place.